But my husband, being a more realistic one, he was, we need to make sure everything makes sense. We don't want to be house poor and move and
this home well below market value.
Under ask at the peak season.
That was because of Brian.
That was because of Brian. Our experience with Brian was really amazing. He really helped to explain things to us right from the beginning, and there was a lot of things we didn't understand. It was our first house that we were selling. We had lived in other houses before, but this was the first one that we were actually going to sell. And my husband and I actually debated whether or not we wanted to sell it ourselves. Remember, we talked about that, maybe doing it ourselves.
Yeah, there's comp-free, there's those other options, there's all kinds of options for trying to sell it yourself.
Exactly, different realtors.
Or you want to make sure that you have some guidance.
Exactly, and there was...
Brian did that really well.
Yeah, he did. There was actually quite a few realtors on our list. Being in an industry myself, I do have a lot of people that I connect with, and I do have a lot of realtors in my network, and there was a few people trying to sell our house, to be honest. And Brian was persistent, and he always made sure to answer any questions I had along the way when we were even just researching the idea of listing our house. He was always there to give us tips, and I kind of thought that it was really nice of him to be able to do that, to keep us, in the information.
At the end of the day, I would have traded whatever we had to pay Brian for the security and for the
Absolutely.
knowledge of knowing that we're able to make the right decision.
At the time, researching different things, it felt like, it's going to be expensive. Why not just sell it ourselves? It'll be easier. But then when we started looking into it and we started doing the research, we realized that that wasn't actually a better option, and it was going to be very stressful with 3 kids, both of us working. We just realized that quickly that wasn't going to be the option for us. And I remember when we called Brian that day, and he was like, "Hey, I'm coming over right now." And we weren't even sure at that point that we were going to hire him, but he brought the paperwork anyways.
If it wasn't for Brian, we wouldn't have been able to
No.
make the purchase and sale of our...
No, we would not have.
It wouldn't have been possible.
No, because we were at a...
It would have taken too long on the market to sell our house.
Yeah, it would have.
We wouldn't have gotten the right offers, and Brian came up with a magical offer that everything worked.
It was like the perfect number.
Truly impressed.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been possible. We wouldn't be sitting in our new house here without Brian.
No, it's very true. It's true. I remember when he came to our house that night, and he just he slid the folder to the side and put the pen on it, and he just talked to us about what we were thinking and what our thoughts were. And I remember being really eager to sell the house and get out of that house. And you were a little bit like, well, are the numbers gonna line up? What's this all gonna look like? But he explained it to us in a way that you said yes before I even did, which I was
Brian's word that he was going to make it work for us, and I wasn't sure when we were writing it up, but looking back on things, I can honestly say I'm honestly so glad we went with Brian.
Yeah, because even now, looking at other realtors and the way they run their social media and the way they handle their clients, it's not even comparable in any way to the experience with Brian. Like, Brian actually helped us organize a whole staging company that came in, and we took everything out of our house, basically. It was a nightmare, really, the process of it. But looking back in hindsight, that's what sold our house. Our house, if it was empty or had our old decor, it would have been a little ho-hum.
If we tried to sell it, it would have never flown.
No, and so we redid the floors on his recommendation. We redid the paint. We did all of the things that he said would help to make our house sell. And at the time, we were very apprehensive. But we followed through just with faith that it was all going to work out and that it was going to make sense in the end. And I look back now at all the connections that we got, through the process from him, like painters and the decorators and stagers, and it just made the process that much more easy for us because we didn't have to worry about where are we going to source out a cute bed and the perfect pillows. And they just came in and in one day they switched the whole house over and it looked incredible. I mean, when we walked back into the house, we thought, well, maybe we won't sell the house. Maybe we'll stay here. It looks so beautiful. But I know when they had the open house, there was a lot of positive feedback about all the changes we made and all of the decor and the staging. And
we would have tried to sell it ourselves. It would have taken a lot longer. It would have cost us a lot more.
I would have been very stressed out.
I mean, just even having to transfer the purchase and sale of your home is going to take a couple of months, and it's stressful no matter what. And so
really it is.
To have somebody on your side who's professional, who does this every day, that just takes the stress off. I mean, to try to do it yourself is just, the burden alone is going to be worth the investment.
It sounds good to do it yourself. It sounds like can't be that hard. You get a couple papers together, you list your house, take some photos, and you walk some people through your house, but it's not like that at all. I mean, for us, how many walkthroughs we had, and we had to keep our house pristine and have people come through, and just, he gave us enough notice every time. Everything was just never a challenge. It was always easy. He was very friendly, and I'm just so grateful. And then not only did he help us sell our house, but he helped us buy this beautiful home here, which is my dream home. So
wouldn't have been possible without making all the numbers work, without getting that one perfect offer.
That was the ticket for my husband. Was I'm a little bit less realistic. I just see a beautiful house and all the potential for their modern farmhouse dreams. But my husband, being a more realistic one, he was, we need to make sure everything makes sense. We don't want to be house poor and move and
this home. Well below market value.
Under ask at the peak season.
That was because of Brian.
That was because of Brian. I mean, when we tell people how much we paid for this house, when they know what the market was, they're always shocked and they ask, who was your realtor? Because it's almost unheard of to have gotten an under offer like that. And I remember being very stressed. There was a lot of back and forth there. And I thought for sure, we're never going to get it for this price. And lo and behold, Brian got back to us and said, we made the numbers click. We've got the offer accepted. And I actually cried that day like a baby. I was so happy to know that we were going to take our 3 kids and be able to come to this house and raise them in this beautiful home. So I'm very grateful for that. Cheers to Brian. We love you. Yeah.